What's up, my peoples? This is Rob with Wise Life, giving honor, praise, esteem, and majesty to the Most High, and His name is YaHuWah, and giving reverence, respect, esteem, and honor to His Son, whose name is YaHuWShuWA. And so, had a quick thought this morning. Was watching the news. All right, and I don't watch the news too often anymore. This morning was the first time I watched live local news in weeks. I mean, man, I can't tell y'all when the last time I've actually cut the news on. But that I heard several things. Of course, you hear about the poke. Some people call it the jab. Some people call it the V shot or whatever. But I call it the poke. But of course, you hear about that. That's going to always be in the news, and the numbers that surround it, and the statistics that surround it, and the fear that surrounds it, and just the overall story that surrounds it. All right, and then also though, I heard and what I wanted to point out, where my thought come from, is a story about the United Methodist Church. All right, so I heard this morning that there's going to be some kind of vote coming up soon, or recent or something like that, about a vote that the United Methodist Church is going to make, concerning same-sex marriage. And the thought I had was how we live in facets, different facets of truth. All right, some people just can't take the truth about stuff. You know what I'm saying? Truth is is in many different levels. You got personal truth. For example, when I say personal truth, like, let's say somebody was adopted, but they don't know they was adopted until adoptive parents tell them when they're 20 or 21 or something like that, when they think they're mature enough to receive it. You know what I'm saying? Let's say they tell them when they're 21. All right, and now those children thought that they were a part of one family, but now they've been told that they have, a different DNA, a different, bloodline. And that affects people differently. Some people will just say, no, the ones who raised me is my family. Others will want to go out and figure out who their family is now. They will feel kind of lost or betrayed behind it, not wanting to. And some people just wouldn't want to receive that truth at all, and would be mad at the adoptive parents and the biological parents. You know what I'm saying? So that's an example. But like I was saying, some of us have to deal with personal truth. Well, all of us have to deal with personal truth. But, then you got, the fictional things that are portrayed as truth. You got emotional. Emotions can surround truth. The spiritual truths out there, and that's a lot of what I try to share from my experience is a spiritual truth that the Father has opened my eyes to, and a lot of people don't like to accept that. You know what I'm saying? The fact of the matter in spiritual truth is, Jesus is not a true name. It's not truth. And that's a reality. That's a fact. Jesus is not truth. Even no matter how people try to push it, no matter how many people try to stubbornly put the square peg in the round hole, it don't fit. All right, and so then you can deal with like I said, emotional truth, physical truth, spiritual truth. Then you can deal with truth that you just deal with in society. In society itself, in our everyday systems. All right, there are a bunch of falsehoods going around that people try to accept as true. And I go back to this church thing, same-sex marriage. People can do what they want. Don't get me wrong. A lot of people say I'm hating. A lot of people say I'm presenting a phobia right now. A lot of people would say I'm bashing. You know what I'm saying? But that's not what I'm doing. All right? We can openly disagree with something and still not be hating. And that needs to be on record as being, able to be done. You can't bully people into believing in something or agreeing with something that they don't agree with. You know what I'm saying? If somebody walk up, to let's say I'm in the grocery store and somebody just walk up and start shooting, you know what I'm saying? I don't agree with that stuff. You know what I'm saying? I do not agree with violence. You know what I'm saying? But some people do. Some people ain't got a problem with violence. And the whole problem is, though, you only see it in certain aspects of society, in certain aspects of the world where if somebody's trying to push an agenda or somebody's trying to push an ideology, a thought process, or an indoctrination, and others, and a lot of times the majority disagrees with it, then you get labeled something. You get labeled with a phobia, you get labeled as a hater, or you get labeled as a somebody that is downing or bashing a person or a group of people. And it just ain't right, and it ain't so. So at the end of the day, we all have an obligation to be honest, especially if we call ourselves believers. We have an obligation to be accurate. We have an obligation to the truth. All right? If you continue to read in those scriptures and study those scriptures, you're going to see the words true and truth all the way through there if you're paying attention. All right? And if you're using your Strong's Concordance and actually looking at what truth is and what the word true means and the word truth means and stuff, there is no denying certain things. All right? We live in a society where the media is the teacher now. All right? The media is teaching the people all around the world what they want them to believe. All right? There are certain truths that you have to actually dig for. And I'm talking going deeper than Google and YouTube. You know what I'm saying? You gotta be willing to look at stuff and observe. All right? You can tell the truth about people by the way they just act. And you can tell the truth about stories by the way they come across. And if they match up with your experience and if they match up with history. All right? And a lot of this stuff is tainted anyway. So at the end of the day, you know what I'm saying? We just you gotta take what you see. You know what I'm saying? You gotta know that there's a story behind what you see, and a story behind what you hear, and a story behind what you read. And you gotta understand that people will manipulate those stories to get the reaction and to get the response that they want. And sometimes that it has nothing to do. Those stories and those things you see and those things you've been told have nothing to do with the truth. It has everything to do with the way they want us to respond. The people that present this information. So going back to the United Methodist Church thing, they're talking about changing the name and splitting it into a new denomination over same-sex marriage, when the book that they say they believe does not even agree with the topic. So different facets of truth, man. Can't get around this stuff. You can't make this stuff up, and it's just part of our reality now. But those of us who consider YaHuWah as the highest standard, we know better. And it just is what it is on topics like this. All right? And I think I did a video where I stand on that. I agree with the Father on it. All right? The Father says that, it's unnatural, so that's unnatural. Same sex is unnatural. And if anybody disagrees, we're in America, and we're human. All right, people can disagree all they want. There are whole countries outside of the United States that disagree with same sex. All right, there are whole countries. All right, everything is not set to America's standards. All right, but because of America has changed laws over the course of time, and churches are starting to change their own beliefs now. I mean, people can do what they want to do. And as Rob Robertson, I believe people can do what they want to do. I also believe, though, I ain't got to agree with it. You know what I'm saying? And I ain't got to support it. So, I'm saying it straight up. Doesn't make me a hater. I'm not a hater. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to go around picking at people because of their lifestyle. That's just not me. I ain't never done that. But at the same time, I'm not going to be bullied into agreeing with something that I don't agree with. You know what I'm saying? So that's just what it is. Anybody that takes it the wrong way, hey, put your big boy pants on and live your life. Do what you want to do. You know? You heard that from my mouth. Do what you want to do. All right? But there is a standard. If you say that you believe in the Most High, there is a standard that you have to keep. And he don't agree with it. So at the end of the day, that's my thought and that's my take. Shout out to Aaliyah. Thank you for the hat. This mug is comfortable. It's warm. And on a chilly spring morning here in Oklahoma, comes in handy. And it allows me to pledge my allegiance to who I pledge my allegiance to. You know what I'm saying? So much love out there to everybody else. Continue to just stand in what you believe in. Don't allow the fear that is being spread across the world to entangle you in that web. You know what I'm saying? The Father wants us to be in His image, and the Father's raising up people who have His standard, all right, and who wants to stick by Him. You know what I'm saying? And who wants to call on Him? You know what I'm saying? By way of His Son. So, hey, if you're in agreement, that's cool. If you're not in agreement, that's cool too. Because, hey, at the end of the day, we all gonna account for our own words and actions, right? So, much love to the people out there. You know what I'm saying? I hope you guys have a wonderful Friday. And I hope you guys are continuing to learn more about yourselves and your purpose and who you're supposed to be for YaHuWah. All right? Like I said, much love to y'all. Shalom, shalom, and shalom.